Hey guys, so this is a quick tutorial on how to build your own automated booking pipeline using software called ClickUp. Everything you see here can be done on the free plan, and this template will be available for download in the description. So the way it looks is at a high level, you can see what stage a client is in, new booking, scheduled, or invoiced, and what services they booked, the team member assigned to that particular stage, their due date to complete their work, and then in this case, the actual date of the booking as well. So how this all works from a high level is you'll have a form on your website that someone fills out. When they fill out that form, it creates a task here, and this task has client information, and this is also where you can collaborate with your team and share documents, information, add extra information and whatnot. And then when your team is, so say Michelle's done with booking Earl's event and it's all scheduled and good to go, she'll close out the task. This closes, and then it will automatically be bumped to scheduled status, assigned to Steve with the due date, the same date as the booking date. And then from here, we can go to the calendar, see all the scheduled events, services, and then these can be clicked through as well. Same way to see all the information. So if Steve needs to know anything else, he can come here and have a look. And then once the events happen and it's all done, Steve closes this off, and then it goes to the invoicing stage. It's assigned to Dan with the new due date. So once Dan actions this and closes it off and they're paid and everything about the booking is complete, it then goes to this old invoices list where you also have an index of all the past invoices. So these are the business outcomes we're solving and the issues we're fixing. So centralized client information, so everything's in one place. You're not chasing emails all over the place and scattered information. And there's a single source of truth for every client. As you saw, everything's automated in terms of what stage it's at, who in your team needs to do what, and when it's done by, when it needs to be done by. Streamlined scheduling. So on the calendar, again, everything just automatically appears there. There's no extra steps required. And then sends to invoicing, your finance department, whatever it is, who handles the payments and the paperwork. So again, that's all automatic. No need to chase anything around. You can add receipts, invoices to the task itself, so everything's there. And then you have the record keeping list going forward if you ever need to go back and check. So this is how we set this all up. So go to your space, make a new list. Let's call it bookings. Okay, so first step is setting up the custom fields, which are going to act as a framework for everything. So the first custom field we want is for the booking stage. So we'll call the first one new booking. And then after that, it'll go into the scheduled phase. And then the final phase will be the invoicing. And then the next one is services. We're going to define the services that the customer can pick. So go with balloons. Do these all separate colors so it's easy to differentiate everything. Call this one snacks. And let's call this one music. We want to add a date field called booking date. And then an email field called customer email. We can hide the priority field as we're not really using that for this example. And we want to change the grouping by stage and in descending order. And then save that. So the next step is to create the automation that when someone fills out a form, it creates a new task assigned to someone on the team. to complete the booking. So do that. Click here, go to automations, do a new automation. So a new task is created. We want to set the custom field, the stage to new booking, set the assignee to Michelle, and we'll give her a due date of 7 days to complete the booking. So 7 days, these are 7 calendar days after the trigger date. So we'll save that. So the next step is going to be creating the form for your booking. So go to form, start from scratch. And the first field we want is, it will eventually be mapped to the task name, which you'll see later, but for the front end of the website, want to call it name. Next one is customer email. And then the date of the event, the booking date, which you want to allow a time input. Let the customer know to also select the time. And then we want them to be able to choose what service they're asking for. And then finally, we want them to provide any additional information. So that's the form setup. And now the next step is to embed this on your site. So go to embed code, copy code. Your site's page builder should have an embed code or HTML option. Just drag that in there, paste the code for your form, and save. So this is how the form will appear on your site. So we'll go through a example entry now, where let's say we want this event on the 5th at 1 o'clock. Service is snacks, and they don't want any green M&Ms. And then we come to our screen and we see that the new bookings come in assigned to Michelle with a due date of the 2nd, booking date of the 5th, and at 1 o'clock, and all the information in the form is captured here. For the sake of clarity, we'll also hide this information from this view because it's not super relevant. And then when you click into the task, you can see where they enter the information. I don't want green M&Ms. So the entire intake process was completely automated with all this information, with no handling of emails or anything else. And this screen is where your team can collaborate and add information as needed. So if you want to drop documents into there, you can just drag and drop. It shows up there. You can also tag other teammates as well. I'll take. And then your team will see these notes, and this is where you can chat and collaborate with everybody, and everything is centralized in one place. So now the next step is creating the automation to hand it over to Steve once the booking has all been taken care of. So we're going to add a new automation. So when the stage is when anything in the new booking stage is closed, we'll change the status to a to-do. We'll set the stage to scheduled. We'll change assignees to, we want to use the advanced field. We want to reassign it to Steve since he's actually going to be handling the event. And then we want to add a due date. That's going to be the same as the booking date. So we want to choose field and booking date. So now when Michelle's all done the booking and all the information is ready to go, she'll change her task to complete. And then it's automatically flipped over to Steve. So everything's automated. The booking date is the same as the due date, and it's now assigned to Steve, and he knows they want snacks, and he'll be able to look at the actual task information to figure out more information. So now we want to build the view, the calendar view, to see all the bookings in a single place that are confirmed. So we'll add calendar view. We'll call it scheduled events. We want it to show the services, and then we only want to show the tasks that are actually scheduled. And that's it. And then you go down here and you'll see there's a task there, and now Steve can click onto here as well and see everything there. So this is another single source of truth for your team to see all the events that are actually booked. Helps prevent double bookings, single point of reference for everybody. And again, all this is totally automated. So as new bookings are put into scheduled status, they will automatically populate in this calendar. So the next automation is set up is that once the event is closed and Steve closes out his part of the job, then it goes to the invoicing stage. So this automation is going to be very similar to the last one, where status changes to closed when the stage is equal to scheduled. So all scheduled events, when they're closed, will activate this automation. We'll change the status to to-do. We'll set the custom field stage to invoicing. We'll change assignees, reassign assignees to Dan, and we'll give a due date of 14 calendar days. So Steve wraps up his event. He closes this off. And task is now assigned to Dan, due date right there for them to handle. And then once your team gets paid, if you close this, it'll disappear from this entire bookings view. And to create a view to see all your past invoices, click view, list, name it past invoices, add a filter where it only shows closed. And that's it. So all your past invoices will show up here if you ever need a future reference. And then for team collaboration, everything I'm assigned on or communicated with shows up in my inbox. So I can click to any one of these and have a look at the task. So that's how your team keeps track of stuff they're assigned to. So that's a wrap. That's just a basic configuration you can do for free. Of course, everything can be customized here depending on your team's specific needs. If you look in the video description, you'll find a link out to the starter template here if you just need a basic place to get started. And if you have any questions or concerns at all, feel free to add them in the comments below. Thanks.